Mercedes-Benz have always produced breathtaking performance, great cars to drive, superbly engineered. But what if you want even more performance? What if, like me, you want a touch more power? Well, if that's what you're after, there's no better place to start than AMG. 3 letters which, when combined with Mercedes-Benz, add up to the ultimate in performance enhancement. AMG have been doing special things to Mercedes cars for over 30 years. But did you know they're now part of the Daimler Chrysler family? And were you aware that there will soon be an AMG version of every Mercedes model? I must admit, I've always been intrigued by the company, impressed by what they do, and curious about what those 3 letters stand for. Well, curiosity finally got the better of me. So I've come here to Germany to find out for myself. This is a Falterbach, a few miles north of Stuttgart and the home of AMG. I can't wait to take a look around, but first, what about that name?
Well, Tiff, let me enlighten you. AMG began life in 1967 when Hans Werner Aufrecht, a test engineer with Mercedes who was born in Grossesbach, and his partner Eberhard Melcher set up an engineering business in Bergstall, which gave birth to the name AMG. From the outset, AMG designed and developed racing engines for Mercedes-Benz cars, but after a series of successes on the racetrack, the company began to offer their own brand of special engine tuning to motorists on the public roads. The business developed well, and by 1978, AMG had 40 employees and had moved to new premises at Falterbach. In 1988, AMG teamed up with Daimler-Benz for its motor racing comeback in the German Touring Car Championship. The success continued, and in 1990, the 2 companies grew even closer as they signed a contract that extended beyond motorsport to production cars. By now, AMG's reputation had grown, as had its business. It now had some 400 employees.
Okay, so let's go and meet some of them.
But Tiff, the story doesn't stop there. In 1993, the first Mercedes-approved AMG car appeared, the C36 AMG. Other models soon followed. The relationship was formalized in 1999 with the founding of Mercedes-AMG. Today, the company, which now employs close to 500 specialists, develops and manufactures high-performance engines, one-off vehicles, and innovative and individually tailored mobile media systems. The results are remarkable vehicles, renowned for their incomparable handling and exceptional power.
2 of my favourite things, so let's go and find out some more.
And who better to start with, Tiff, than Ulrich Brunker, president of AMG.
Brunker, how would you best sum up the philosophy of AMG?
First of all, AMG is the performance division within Mercedes-Benz. And we want to offer high-tech solutions for our customers, especially in case of performance. But we also want to offer very individual and most individual cars. I think we are able to offer the most individual Mercedes. Think about AMG and don't forget Designo. Designo is also part of AMG.
So Mercedes took over AMG in 1999. How has that changed things? What have been the benefits?
Up to 1999, AMG was a tuner. and now we are part of a big company, but nevertheless we are able to be as flexible as a tuner was in the past. That means we are very fast in the development, we are flexible to react on customer wishes, and it's a difference between a small company and a big company. Maybe we can call it the best of two worlds.
So that's the philosophy that drives AMG. Now let's get to the heart of the matter, the source of that performance, the engines. Martin Heiss works in customer relations for AMG and is going to show us around. These engines have just been completed, so we're going to go back to where it all begins. Martin, lead on.
Okay, so here we have a production V8 block, which is normally fully automated on the production line. But here at Mercedes-AMG, it's all hand-built. We have a philosophy of one engine, one man. The crankshaft is stroked to increase the capacity from 5 to 5.5 litre. And here the pistons and the cam rods have been selected and well balanced to increase capacity and power.
Let's get the perfect match for that high performance. Lots of lovely valves. And trolleys full of superchargers. So what happens to the engines once you've finished building them here?
When we competed with them, we ship them to the various Mercedes-Benz plants and put them into different AMG cars.
Right. But I mean, AMG, they're not just about enhancing the performance of Mercedes, they also enhance the styling as well.
Well, here we have a Mercedes-Benz C32. For example, we have the AMG front apron, 17-inch alloy wheels, AMG side skirts, and in the rear we have the AMG rear apron. To finish it off, we have the AMG chrome tailpipes.
And those enhancements, they don't end on the outside.
Also on the inside, we have the AMG sport seats in Napa leather, ergonomic steering wheel, instrument cluster, and gear lever with a C32 badge.
And I understand that if you want something extra special, here at AMG Manufacture, almost anything's possible.
As I said, it's unlimited here. You can offer high-end audio systems, innovative mobile media systems for the cars, new leathers, interior, new wood, carbon fibre, anything you want, you can have.
So basically the sky's the limit. If you've got the money, you can have whatever you want.
There we are, exactly. We can even change the whole shape of a car. Here, for example, the S-Class Estate.
Well, I have to say, it's certainly all very impressive. Isn't that your design and development department just down there?
That is, but not even you can go inside there.
No? Not even a quick peek?
No, no, no.
Okay, then. You know, the amazing thing is that wherever you walk at AMG, there's always the odd little reminder that you've been fairly successful at developing racing cars.
That's right, Tiff. Over the past 3 decades, AMG have won a fabulous collection of trophies, beginning in 1971 with a first in class in the Spa 24-hour race. The years between 1986 and 1993 saw AMG winning no less than 50 races with the Mercedes 190E. 1994 to 1996 continued the success with 32 wins for the AMG C-Class, and in 1998 they secured the FIA GT World Championship in the CLK GTR. In 2000, Bernd Schneider and AMG won both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship in the DTM with 8 victories out of 16 races. The team repeated their achievement in 2001, with Schneider becoming the first driver in history to win the coveted trophy twice in a row. Even more remarkable was that 6 out of the top 10 cars were Mercedes AMG.
And when it comes to Formula One, not only do Mercedes engines power the McLaren Grand Prix cars, but if there are any problems, it's an SL55 AMG that heads the field. Well, this is certainly pretty impressive.
Well, this is the newest facility where HWA produce our latest generation of racing cars. You may remember some of these.
Yeah, some of them bring back memories. Now, Martin, there's no doubt that motorsport success is good for company prestige, but a modern-day racing car is pretty far removed from anything you're going to find on the roads.
That's true. Well, a lot of what Mercedes and AMG engineers learn about high performance comes from their success on the racetrack.
So that's true, motorsport does still improve the breed.
It does indeed.
So Tiff, to recap on the recipe, take one very special hand-built engine, add some spice and whip to a frenzy. Combine it with some other hot ingredients, and then for the filling, some special detailed touches. Finally, polish to a dazzling shine, and the result is
mouth-watering. So that's what AMG do. But to find out how much substance lies beneath the style, you just got to drive the cars. And this is a joy to drive, with the beautiful free-revving 3.2-litre V6 powering away under the bonnet. Steering that gives you that right amount of feel, it's sensitive to the touch. And even with the ESP switched off for this circuit driving, there's plenty of grip and neutral handling. And this isn't even an AMG car, it's a standard C320. Before driving the AMG version, I wanted to reacquaint myself with the C-Class and its normal guys. So now, let's see what the AMG C32 has to offer. Well, of course, it's also got a 3.2-litre V6 under the bonnet, but now it's a completely different engine, hand-built at AMG, and of course, with a supercharger helping it to produce an extra 136 horsepower. So we've now got a C-Class Merc with 354 horsepower, which will get to 60 in 5.2 seconds. And that's 2.5 seconds quicker than the C320. And of course, the suspension's been tweaked with stiffer damping and springing, so it goes round corners quicker as well. There's also a speed shift gearbox, which when you decelerate, is always ready to be in exactly the right gear when you re-accelerate, so you don't waste any time. Then there are the neat styling touches, not just the body kit or those special 17-inch rims, but the change in the dashboard, the gear knob and the upgraded Napa leather seats. So that's the C32. What about the SLK32? Well, it's exactly the same story, but now I can have all that performance with either the roof up or the roof down. And again, with the ESP switched off and the Pembrey racing circuit all to myself, I can have them all. With performance like that, it's hardly surprising that more and more people are saying, I want an AMG.
They certainly are, Tiff. AMG had an outstandingly successful year 2000, selling more than 11,500 cars. This figure is not just a new record in the history of the company, it also more than doubles sales of the previous year. 2001 saw sales of over 15,000 overall, with around 500 of those being sold in the UK. In itself, a record.
This ML55 AMG is the flagship model in Mercedes' highly successful M-Class. With its AMG hand-built V8 power plant, its high-grade specification, its attractive body styling elements, it stands out even further from the competition in this class and sets new standards in the category. The 5.5-litre engine produces 347 horsepower with 510 Newton-meters of torque, and this will enable it to get to 62 in an incredible 6.8 seconds. And it has got a maximum speed capability of 146 miles an hour. And with ESP working in conjunction with the intelligent 4ETS four-wheel drive system, it's just as good off-road as it is on. But the amazing thing is that on these twisty country roads, it feels more like a sports saloon than a sports utility vehicle. But perhaps the most desirable AMG car of all is this simply wonderful CL55. AMG version beautifully complements the existing CL lineup. Its 5.5-litre hand-built V8 produces over 50 horsepower more than the 500s and nearly as much as the V12 600, whilst its punchy power delivery makes it the quickest of them all to 60, and its special exhaust system makes it sound as good as it feels. I'm sitting in the lap of luxury in the back of an S55 AMG, the sort of place where people who have made it big choose to sit. Ian Dutfield is the product development manager for Mercedes-Benz passenger cars in the UK. Ian, what sort of people buy AMG Mercedes?
Well, typically an AMG buyer will be of about 45 years of age. They'll be successful professionals with above average income, and they tend to buy the product because it makes a statement about themselves. They are also very brand loyal, and they buy the Mercedes-Benz AMG product because it is either to them represents the pinnacle of performance, or it represents the halo in the Mercedes-Benz range.
But this is the S55 AMG, and if you're living life in the fast lane, there's only one place to be, and that's in the driving seat. Now, with my luxurious airmatic suspension, I can't go around the corners quite as quickly as I did with the CL, especially as that had its ABC active body control suspension with all its obvious advantages. We can demonstrate the difference between the two systems more clearly with this slalom test. First, here's the airmatic equipped S55, coping admirably with a fairly stiff test of handling and suspension. Very neat. But now, here's the CL55 with ABC. As you can see, the car stays much flatter with barely any trace of roll. Let's look at that again. I could have the same system fitted to my S-Class, and I probably would. But for now, I just have to content myself with all the extra power courtesy of AMG. And so back to the beautiful SL55 AMG, which we saw earlier, distinguished from the SL500 by its special 18-inch rims, its AMG side skirts, its partially darkened tail lights, and its 4 chromed AMG exhaust pipes. And the upgrades continue on the inside. Just give me 16 seconds. Special features include exclusive AMG sports seats trimmed with perforated leather, a dash which features an aluminium trim, and distinctive AMG instruments. I suppose I'd better have a go. So far, everything I've driven with a 55 to its name has been powered by the same hand-built 5.5 litre V8. Well, now with this amazing SL55 AMG, they've added a supercharger, which has pushed the power output up to a whopping 476 bhp, and there's 700 newton meters of torque, which means that this car can propel itself to 62 miles an hour in just 4.7 seconds. Top speed? Well, nobody knows, because it's limited to a sensible 155 miles an hour. The engine is clean as well, because the AMG high-performance exhaust system complies with the EU4 emissions standards. And it's not just going to be exclusive to this SL55, as it's soon be available in the CL55 and S55. The gearbox is a 5-speed automatic speed shift system with the option of using paddles on the back of the steering wheel, just like in a Grand Prix car. Engage, down a gear or two, bye-bye. A powerful braking system developed by AMG gives the SL55 impressive braking power. It's the first ever production car to have fly-by-wire brakes using electronic braking technology called Sensotronic Brake Control, or SBC for short. It's on this car now, but it'll soon be on other models, including the new E-Class. The active body control, suspension and damping system has been upgraded by AMG to take into account the higher performance of the car, and it uses a firmer setup to improve the handling. Now, what was it they said AMG stood for? I reckon in this case it must be Awesome Motor, Governor. So what about the future? What direction is AMG taking now?
Look here, this is the future of AMG, the new engine plant. We need a bigger plant because our customers want to see how the engines are assembled. They want to be there where the engine is born, and they want to have a look over there. And this tremendous growth of the last years makes it impossible to show our customers the engine plant. And we have different types of engines. We also want to install a very special part of the engine plant where we build up the SLR engines, Super V12s, very special engines. For all our engines we have the philosophy one man, one engine. And our workers need around about 2 to 2.5 hours to build up one V6 or V8 engine. For the SLR they will need up to 1 day to build up one engine. And we have to organize this process.
Yeah. I mean, in the olden days, AMG has been famous as much for its style as its performance. Now I sense it's going more to performance, concentrated rather than the styling.
No, we want to offer both, but we don't want to offer overstyled cars, because our customers don't want to show the power. They are very
discreet.
Yes.
The only question left for me is which one am I going to drive home in?